Hey, yo, check this out. It's your boy PiKaHsSo Allen Poe, and today is Sunday, March 22nd, 2015, 4:24 p.m. Yo, like I said, this channel right here, I do this channel for purposes so people really my daughter, really, or whoever, like if I'm gone, you can take this stuff and make footage from it, or you can just learn about me, or just know about me, how I think on things. It's not for no money. It's not to try to get no good standing with people. It's just straight. I want people to know what I think about certain things, good, bad, sad, the ugly, the pretty, the beautiful, whatever, It's whatever. So I'm just discussing all kinds of things after I'm gone. People are like, wow, this dude is immortalized. His thoughts, his views. I don't ever want people like, wow, I'm giving you everything. No music, no nothing. So you can put backdrops, do what you want. I don't care. It is what it is. And I know nobody's watching it because I don't promote it. But anyway, I want to talk about some of the producers I work with from here on some of these videos too, just for big or small, Not that I work a lot of big people, but and I want to start off by what I think is the first guy that I consider to be one of the first people I consider to be somewhat of a professional music producer. I would have to get up to my homeboy POiNDEXTER, aka Delon Crawford, out there in Singing Hills. Man, that dude to me was a godsend. I met POiNDEXTER. I forgot how I met POiNDEXTER, honestly. So I met him back when I was still living with my daddy. I was damn near almost a teenager, had to be. That dude, I know about over 25 years. I met POiNDEXTER, man. I remember when DiLLA at first came out. I'm making a long story short. POiNDEXTER was a cool dude. I heard about him through the grapevine. I'm straight from South Dallas. That's where I'm from, Lincoln High. I wasn't used to know like that. I just knew I was going through different phases in hip hop, the Luke phase, the NWA phase, the Young MC. I listen to all that stuff. I'm not even going to front with you. Vanilla Ice, I'm not going to front. Everything, that's back then when hip hop was a cornucopia, or kind of like a big melting pot or a stew. And I remember I met POiNDEXTER, whatever, and I'm like, man, I like this, I like that. And we got into that De La Soul. I'm like, man, I wanted to know, how was Prince Paul? I didn't know who Prince Paul was at the time, but now I'm just telling you who he is. I want to know, how did they get those sounds? How did they make that sound? We down here in the South. I'm in Dallas. We trying to figure out how they make them sound, but we still B-boys. I didn't know how. We just don't you scratch. No, they sampling it. They're sampling it. And somebody, I can't remember who gave me a little bitty sample. And I remember listening to De La Soul first. And they album, had the little tiger sound. Somebody gave me a little Casio thing, and I had it. I was like, wow, that's the same sound that they had on the De La Soul. 3 Feet High and Rising. So that's what they're using. Somehow or another, we rigged it up. The 4-track recorder, POiNDEXTER, I'm making a long story short, he started sampling the Bob James. POiNDEXTER was my J Dilla, and my premiere, my Pete Rock, before I even got into them. POiNDEXTER, Delon Crawford, country dude, and he was cutting and chopping them samples, man. I remember I helped him get into that. I don't know if I remember he was already kind of doing it, but I gave him my keyboard. He took that thing and ran miracles with it. I had the little bitty Casio keyboard. I went and got another one from the pawn shop, and we broke the other one. And we scored on a 4-tracker back in his grandmama back room. He was staying with his grandmama back then. Him and his brother Jason. Out there in Singing Hills and Oak Cliff, Singing Hills, same thing, Dallas. It's different sections of Dallas. Oak Cliff, Singing Hills, Dallas, Pleasant Grove, Mesquite. I'm from South Dallas, and I went to Mayfield, Oak Cliff too. So I'm from both of them. Have no shame. I love my Oak Cliffians and I love my South Dallaxians, you know what I'm saying? But South Dallas, and we sunny South Dallas. But I just want to say, man, POiNDEXTER, Delon Crawford, man, it was a pleasure working with that guy. I was looking at, man, I was just looking at him right now. I got a few video footage. He was kind of shy, just sitting back recording with it. They're on the DFW Hip Hop History channel. POiNDEXTER was sitting in the back just cutting. He taught himself. He was like one of the first guys I remember working with. I was rapping before that, but who I remember just helped give me somewhat start to help me develop in a professional sound was what's this bottom of my shirt? I might get this on this Beastie Boy shirt. I love collecting my shirts. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. I'll get on that later. But POiNDEXTER, man, it was just a pleasure working with him. He can cut. He was slicing up. We had a victim of society. I had a song called Victim of Society. He was sampling Bobby Humphrey, who's, by the way, from Dallas. So she's on the Blue Note Jazz. He's sampling. I remember we had to Push It Along. I remember we listened to Push It Along on Tribe Called Quest, People Instinctive Travels album, and he found that off that bar. He called me on my phone and recorded my voice. I had him. That's back when your VCR tape, when your answer machines had the little tape. He recorded him. I found a sample of Push It Along, and I happened to have my Tribe Called Quest album and it recorded over that. I used to play it in my answer machine. It recorded over Push It Along. So if I can ever find that tape, I'll play it. If I can find my original Tribe Called Quest, People Instinctive Travel, you can hear POiNDEXTER talking about the sample, and it comes on. It recorded over Push It Along off the first Tribe Called Quest. I didn't know he was gonna do it. By the time I came back, it recorded over it because I was listening to music enough. But big up to POiNDEXTER. He was like my J DiLLA. I'm just putting to me, Pete Rock, Premier. Some of them just cutting and slicing, dissecting them samples or whatever. Matter of fact, Rod Kirkpatrick, back in the day, he used to come by there, man. He used to call him Wiz or whatever he's called. He used to come by there. Before Rod Kirkpatrick, who worked with EPMD, he used to come by POiNDEXTER. They used to trade records. I gave POiNDEXTER some of my records. I used to collect records. My daddy gave me records. So I never been I produced, but I wasn't jumping in and out of. I just was more of a rapper, but I still like to keep my fingers dusty. But it's not about me. It's about Delon Crawford, a.k.a. POiNDEXTER, man. That dude was one of the first dudes that I worked with before any of the popularity I had right here in the DFW, Texas region. I'm pretty, it is what it is. I'm not something global, but, I might be big to somebody. I have fans other places too, but POiNDEXTER, man. You ever look him up, Delon Crawford? He on Twitter. He on Instagram. Delon Crawford, POiNDEXTER. I can't think his name, but he'll see this when the time is right. I don't believe in forcing myself on people or forcing what I do on people. They get it when it's time to be got. They'll get it when it's time to be got. So POiNDEXTER, man, I thank you for everything, man, back in the gap. I'm glad I got a little footage of when we were young. I remember POiNDEXTER, he was filming us back in his mind. We were trying to make music videos. We didn't know how to make, me and James, them. We didn't know how to make music videos. Talking about James Shepard from Irrigasm. We didn't know how to make music or whatever, man, with a video. We just seen him on the box watching UMC. UMC one of the first people over POiNDEXTER house in this little back room studio. We watching UMC, Blue Cheese, Elf on the First, and we sitting on a box. We programming Cool Kim and Haas G. And UMC, they was on Wild Pitch at POiNDEXTER house. So POiNDEXTER, Delon Crawford, thank you, man. You're a genius, my dude. And I'll never forget everything. And that's why every time I see you, I love cracking you. You're a funny guy. And thank you for everything you did for me. I appreciate you for believing in me back in the gap when I was just a young pup in this rap game. And I appreciate it, man. It means so much.